artists, they are the ones who create the work that really switch the perspective.
Bonjour SENS. First of all, I'm extremely honored and happy to be here. I am Nadia Kaabi-Linke, a mother of two gorgeous children, a dreamer and a visual artist. I must say it's my first curatorial experience, and I have collaborated with Timo Kaabi-Linke, who is my partner in life and in work. He has previously curated other exhibitions.
I'm Timo Kaabi-Linke. I'm co-curator of this year's Kazma art video together with my wife and partner Nadia Kaabi-Linke, the artist.
For Timo and I, it was really important not to neglect what is happening in the world, but to take it from a perspective which doesn't really stress only on the heaviness. Because I think the best to go forward is really to consider always the bigger picture and to know that where there is sorrow and shadows, there's always, whatever happens, a place for lightness, for love and connection. And we wanted somehow to balance the horrors that we are witnessing every day in the whole world, not only in Gabès. Of course, we are in a place that is going through a tragic environmental phase in its history, in its modern history, let's say it's not recent. All the situation, also instabilities that we know in our Arab region with an ongoing genocide. I'm not going to name everything with the war in Iran, in Ukraine, etc. So it is heavy and difficult times. And I have always believed that lightness is a kind of an antidote. But it's not something for us to forget, but it's a better way to resist and to cope. I think a big danger is if we really dive too deep into despair, there's no way to get out. So this exhibition is a kind of opening the door to some light and showing the way out through humor. So we decided together that we're going to invite artists whose practices are very serious, who ask serious, deep questions, also political, social, environmental, etc. But there's always this perspective of lightness, and especially this exhibition, we decided to make a tribute to a mythical couple whom we had the chance, the happiness, the honor to meet in 2012, and it's Dupuy and Olga Adorno. The whole exhibition for us is a tribute to them, because when we met them, for me, was the biggest lesson is how to be intelligent and clever with the most simple and minimal means, just with a pencil. With the opening and closing of a door, you can create a whole symphony, an orchestra, and humor is at the core of their praxis, but also really the depth and the intelligence through very simple means. And I also think the era in which we live, with so much complexity, with so much technology, being stripped away from our human nature somehow, the solution is going back to simple and natural things. So it's an ode to simplicity, to depth, to humor, and a tribute to Jean and Olga.
So in our work that we do together, we often work site-specifically and research-based. For El Kazma, we traveled in this region to understand a little bit the situation here. And the theme that we developed, we wanted to be anchored somehow in a locally, but we also wanted it to be a global theme that everybody can connect with. So what we focus on in our work and also in this conceptual work that we did for El Kazma is we are interested in something that unites us on a more human scale. So it's not about ethnies or cultures or nations. It's about what we all have in common, and this is actually what the theme is touching on a little bit with the aspect of humor in difficult circumstances.
And then the selection was how accurate the artist today. How do we find contemporary artists that work with similar means, which is simplicity, minimalism, but create the maximum of depth. And we are lucky to have collaborated with artists that we know, others that we discovered through this research process.
Well, I must say the whole selection is somehow based and centered around the work of Dupuy and Olga Adorno. And we were lucky to meet them in 2012 in Nice. And it was a magic moment, and we shared a lot of conversations, and we experienced maybe the two most creative people I ever met. And her whole life was just an ongoing creation of things. So it was a kind of, they showed us a kind of humor that just comes out of the things how they are. It's not something that you have to impose on the world. It's something that is coming out of the world, and your heart is just a receiver of this humorous energy. And the creation that they did was actually the moment when this receiver produced a sound. And this is why we call the whole exhibition a laughing heart. We invited other artists to show their work that we feel has sharing the same vibrations. So when you ask me what's my favorite take, I would say my favorite take, because they gave us, Nadia and me, the idea of this, are the works of Jean and Olga, in which they work together, which they perform together, that they produce together. And the other works, they reflect this energy in a unique way on the same level. So it's hard for me to say this is my favorite, but they are very important for the whole conception of this selection. We wanted to show that art is something that touches everybody. And the idea that we had was, what about making a show where we can see the people coming out of the containers smiling? So then we developed the theme, and we thought about the circumstances that we all witness, with political repressions, tensions, and ongoing genocide, and it couldn't be worse.
And ideally, we would like to see them with even more curiosity, asking more questions about themselves. In Gabès, in the world,